Hey, hey. Welcome everybody to Miss Glow's Kitchen, where there's sugar, spice, and everything nice, where we slice, dice, and entice, using everything we can, from peppers to allspice. What's up, my people? Y'all know what time it is? See y'all in the kitchen. Easy smothered pork chops are on the menu today. Look at that, everybody. Look at that. Yes. All right, now, I'm going to list the ingredients and the amounts you need in the description box down below. So we're going to jump right into this video. Now, what I have here, I have some boneless pork chops. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a rolling pin and I'm going to roll them out. The reason why is because I said in the beginning, easy, quick pork chops, right? All right, so if we're going to do them easy and quick, it's pork. We don't want to have to cook them too long. So thicker pork chops, and you'd have to cook them for way longer than you will these thin ones. So roll them out. What you see on there is you see some Sazon, that flavor enhancer, out of those small packs. That's what's on there right now. So right now, at this point, I'm going to season them. So I'm going to put some garlic powder on there. So I'm going to put a nice amount on each chop. All right, onion powder next. Be generous with that onion powder too, the garlic powder and the onion powder, matter of fact. Now we're going to season both sides of the meat, so I have to tell you that we eat both sides, so we must season both sides. So because we season both sides, don't go too heavy on this salt. You see, I just sprinkled a bit. All right. So I want to repeat. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Same seasonings. All right, and then we're going to go to the next step. At this point, grab yourself a cutting board and a yellow or white onion. I do not recommend using red. It's going to break down. It cooks a little too mushy for dishes like this for me. So if you prefer to use a red one, yes, but I recommend white or yellow. Now at this point, you can dice, slice, chop. You can do whatever you want to do with these onions. They are going to go down into a gravy anyway. All right, so you can do them as big or as small as you like. So right here, doesn't matter. It's a really, really very, very giving recipe. All right, so I am slicing and we'll move on to the next step. All right, into a hot pan, put some oil. Vegetable oil is what I chose to use. All right, so we're gonna fry these. No flour for this recipe. So if you are on a carb restricted diet, this is great for you. You're diabetic, it's good for you. Skip the flour sometimes. Yes, I do make pork chops with flour sometimes, but sometimes I don't. This is one of those cases, and these are very good. They're very thin, so you're going to find that this pork is going to cook very, very quickly. So you get a tender piece of pork in no time. The thicker the pork chop, the longer you have to cook it. So check this out. Some of them got done quicker than the other ones, but these are the last four. I'm going to take these out, okay? Don't wipe the pan out. Don't clean the pan out. Take some of the oil out. But as far as that seasoning, all of that goodness right there, leave it. So you don't want a greasy dish, so I take a paper towel and I mop that oil out of there. It's better than trying to pick the pan up and pour it out. Just mop it very quickly. White wine. Just a little bit of it. I'm sorry, I steamed the camera up, but just a little bit of white wine. Probably, let's say, a couple tablespoons. Two to three tablespoons. All right, and then what we're going to do here is we're going to work our flavor off the bottom of the pan a little bit. Beef stock. About a half a cup of beef stock. I'm going to bring this stock to a boil, and then we're going to take all of our flavor back off this pan. So check that out. Doesn't matter what kind of pan you're using. Just make sure you don't burn your goodness off your chops. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, careful with that part. But all right, take yourself a rubber spatula, some type of spatula. Scrape your flavor off that pan right into that stock. All right, so a little white wine, a little beef stock. And by the way, if you don't want to use that cooking wine, that white wine, you can use water. It's actually perfectly fine. bring that to a boil. Now, that's that onion powder, garlic powder, that seasoned salt. So taste it. Make sure this part is not too salty. If it's too salty, add some water to it. Just a little bit, about 1/8 of a cup, 1/4 cup, probably enough. I don't want it too salty. Ruins the dish when it's too much salt. You actually want to put flavor in with seasonings, but you most certainly don't want to have way too much salt. All right, taste it good. Bring that to a boil. We're going to put our chops back into that flavor. Put them back in. Yes. All of it. So now I got a pretty wide pan. So if you've got a more narrow, deeper pan or something like that, it's perfectly fine to put some of those chops on top. So make a second or even third layer of them, depending on how many people you're cooking for. So you're going to go off that. So you can see I got about 9 chops right there. So 9 boneless chops. Chopped up some mushrooms, some white mushrooms. So I'll throw those on the top. If you don't eat mushrooms or you're allergic, leave it out. All right, so just going to put our onions right on the top in a layer. And that's fine. These are going to stir in later on, so they don't have to stay layered like this. We're just going to put them on the top for cooking purposes right now. Very easy, quick weeknight meal. Very, very easy. I'm going to put the top on it. Now, I'm going to cook this until these onions cook down. So what you're going to do is you're going to lower this to either medium or medium-low heat. This is going to take less than a half an hour to cook. All right, now I'm going to put a link up there. So I used a few packs, because it's a quick weeknight meal. So I used a few packs of store-bought brown gravy. But I'm going to put a link right there that's going to show you how to make your own brown gravy. Now, when you go to that video, it's going to teach you how to make a roux. What you're going to do with that roux is you're going to make it the way that I showed you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take some cornstarch, a cornstarch slurry, which is cornstarch mixed with water. And you're going to thicken that roux into a gravy. All right, and then you're going to taste it, season it, and then what you're going to do is you're going to pour it over the chops like I just did. And bam, you got a weeknight meal that's ready. So you're going to bring this back to a boil. You're going to let these chops cook down into that gravy a little bit. So they've already got a lot of flavor. Right here, you're just going to let it cook. You're going to let this gravy thicken up. And when it thickens up, have your rice, your mashed potatoes, your cauliflower rice, whatever you're going to make with this, have it ready. You're going to put it right over and bam, your weeknight meal or weekend meal if you're pressed for time, it is ready. Check out what it looks like when it's done. Delicious, right? It looks good. Thanks for watching, everybody. See y'all next time. For more great recipes, tips, and ideas, check out some of my other videos.